Amsterdam, 1983. A city of canals and bicycles. A place of art and culture. But even in this haven of beauty, shadows lurked. The Dutch capital, known for its laid-back atmosphere, would soon become the stage for a crime that shocked the world. A tale of wealth, desperation, and the resilience of the human spirit. This is the story of Freddy Heineken's abduction. Freddy Heineken, the name synonymous with the world-famous beer, was a man at the pinnacle of success. His life, a tapestry woven with luxury and influence, was about to be brutally unraveled. On a seemingly ordinary evening, the city's tranquility would be shattered, leaving an indelible mark on Amsterdam's history. The stage was set for a drama that would grip the nation and leave the world in disbelief. The evening of November 9th, 1983 began like any other for Freddy Heineken. Leaving his office in the heart of Amsterdam, he walked towards his chauffeur-driven car. Abduction, his loyal driver, held the door open for his employer. As Heineken settled into the plush leather seat, their ordinary routine took a sinister turn. Two men emerged from the shadows, their faces concealed, their intentions clear. Brandishing firearms, the assailants overpowered Heineken and Doderer. The kidnappers, fueled by desperation and driven by greed, bundled their victims into a waiting van. The vehicle, its engine roaring in the stillness of the night, sped away into the labyrinthine streets of Amsterdam. Heineken and Doderer, their lives hanging precariously in the balance, vanished into the darkness. The news of their abduction spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves through the Netherlands and beyond. The kidnappers, their identities shrouded in mystery, wasted no time in making their demands known. They moved with a chilling precision, leaving no trace of their true selves, only the fear they instilled in their wake. A ransom note, delivered to the stunned Heineken family, sent chills down their spines. The note was terse, its message clear and unyielding. It was a stark reminder of the peril their loved ones faced. The kidnappers demanded a staggering sum for the safe return of their captives, 35 million Dutch guilders, the equivalent of about $15 million at the time. This was not just a demand for money, it was a statement of power and control. The news of the ransom sent ripples of fear and uncertainty through the nation. Every headline, every news report amplified the collective anxiety. The Heineken family was not alone in their dread. The entire country felt the weight of the situation. The gravity of the situation was undeniable. Law enforcement agencies were on high alert, and the public watched with bated breath as the authorities mobilized their resources. The audacity of the crime, the sheer amount of the ransom, and the prominence of the victim all pointed towards a well-planned operation with high stakes. The kidnappers had chosen their target with meticulous care, knowing the impact it would have. As the hours turned into days, the fate of Freddy Heineken and Abduction became a national obsession. The passage of time only heightened the tension, with each tick of the clock a reminder of the hostages' uncertain future. The media frenzy surrounding the kidnapping was relentless, with every detail scrutinized and analyzed. Journalists from all over the world descended upon the scene, eager to capture every twist and turn of the unfolding drama. The nation held its breath, anxiously awaiting any news of the hostages' well-being. In homes, cafes, and public squares, people gathered, united in their hope for a positive outcome. The story of Freddy Heineken and Abduction had become a shared narrative, a testament to the fragility of security and the price of freedom. Heineken and Doderer found themselves imprisoned in a small, soundproofed cell. The kidnappers, their faces hidden behind masks, kept a constant vigil. The days blurred into an agonizing routine of fear and uncertainty. The silence, broken only by the muffled sounds of the outside world, was deafening. The weight of their confinement pressed heavily on their minds. Heineken, despite his ordeal, displayed remarkable resilience. He engaged his captors in conversation, attempting to humanize himself and Doderer in their eyes. He shared anecdotes about his life, his business, and his family. Doderer, though visibly shaken, drew strength from Heineken's composure. Amidst the fear and uncertainty, a strange bond formed between the kidnappers and their captives. The kidnappers, initially cold and ruthless, began to see Heineken and Doderer as individuals, not just commodities. The investigation continues with whispers in the dark. The Dutch police, working tirelessly, followed every lead, however insignificant it seemed. They analyzed the ransom note, scrutinized every phone call, and interviewed countless individuals. The pressure to find Heineken and Doderer mounted with each passing day. The world watched, holding its breath, hoping for a breakthrough. The kidnappers, despite their meticulous planning, had made a crucial mistake. They had used a stolen van for the abduction, and its registration number had been noted by a witness. This one slip-up proved to be their undoing. The police were able to trace the van back to a group of petty criminals known for their daring heists. The net was closing in. The investigation gained momentum when the police discovered a connection between the kidnappers and a warehouse on the outskirts of Amsterdam. Armed with a search warrant, a team of police officers stormed the warehouse, their weapons drawn. Inside, they found evidence linking the suspects to the kidnapping handcuffs, ammunition, and most importantly, traces of Heineken's DNA. The kidnappers' hideout had been compromised. The police, armed with this newfound evidence, were able to identify the ringleader of the operation, Cor van Hout, a notorious criminal with a history of violence. Van Hout, along with his accomplices Willem Holleder, Jan Boulard, and Franz Meyer, became the prime suspects in the Heineken kidnapping case. The manhunt intensified, with police forces across Europe on high alert. 3 weeks after their abduction, a glimmer of hope emerged from the darkness. The city had been shrouded in fear and uncertainty, but now a faint light began to pierce through the gloom. The kidnappers, feeling the pressure of the relentless police investigation, decided to release their captives. The authorities had been working tirelessly, following every lead, and their efforts were finally paying off. On November 30th, 1983, Heineken and Doderer stumbled out of a van, their faces etched with relief and exhaustion. They had been through an ordeal that tested their limits, both physically and mentally. They had been held captive in a remote warehouse on the outskirts of Amsterdam, their ordeal finally over. The warehouse, once a place of confinement, now stood as a silent witness to their suffering. The news of their release spread like wildfire, igniting celebrations across the Netherlands. People took to the streets, their joy palpable, as they celebrated the return of their fellow citizens. The nation breathed a collective sigh of relief. Families hugged each other, strangers shared smiles, and a sense of unity and triumph filled the air. Heineken, despite his harrowing experience, appeared remarkably composed in front of the cameras. His resilience was evident as he faced the media, a symbol of strength and endurance. He thanked the police and assured the public that he was in good health. His gratitude was heartfelt, and his words brought comfort to many who had been anxiously following the news. Doderer, visibly shaken, stood silently by his side. The trauma of their captivity was still fresh, and it would take time for the wounds to heal. Their nightmare was over, but the scars of their captivity ran deep. As they walked away from the van, they carried with them the weight of their experience, a reminder of the fragility of life and the strength of the human spirit. The reunion with their families was a moment of profound joy and relief. Tears flowed freely as loved ones embraced, their hearts filled with gratitude and overwhelming emotion. The long-awaited moment had finally arrived, and the weight of uncertainty began to lift. The weeks of agonizing uncertainty had taken their toll, but the nightmare was finally over. Faces that had been etched with worry and fear now showed signs of relief, though the exhaustion was still evident. Time had seemed to stretch endlessly, each day a battle against despair. Heineken, ever the pragmatist, immediately threw himself back into work, determined to move on from the trauma. The brewery's operations resumed with renewed vigor, and Heineken's focus on rebuilding his business became a source of strength and distraction. He held a press conference thanking the public for their support and expressing his gratitude to the police for their tireless efforts. His words were filled with sincerity, acknowledging the collective strength that had brought him back to safety. Doderer, however, found it difficult to shake off the trauma of his captivity. The darkness of his experience lingered, casting a shadow over his daily life. He often found himself lost in thought, grappling with the memories that refused to fade. He suffered from nightmares and flashbacks, the memories of his ordeal haunting his waking hours. Each night brought restless sleep, and each day was a struggle to keep the past at bay. The psychological scars were deep, and the path to healing seemed daunting. The psychological impact of the kidnapping had left an indelible mark. Therapy sessions became a crucial part of their recovery, offering a space to confront and process the trauma. The journey to mental freedom was as challenging as the physical escape had been. Both Heineken and Doderer received extensive counseling to help them cope with the trauma. The support of professionals and the shared experiences of others provided a lifeline, helping them navigate the complex emotions and begin the process of healing. The road to recovery was long and arduous, but they were determined to rebuild their lives. Each step forward was a testament to their resilience and hope. The rising sun symbolized a new beginning, a chance to reclaim their lives and embrace the future with renewed strength and optimism.